I'm yoga teacher and yoga therapist Lydia Sasse. Welcome to the third video in this 6 video series of Yoga from Home, brought to you by Laoghaire-Rathdown Libraries. Today's video is going to be all about how to manage and regulate your nervous system, so that when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious, you can have simple tips, tricks and sequences that you can integrate into your daily life at home and at work to help moderate the effects of stress on your nervous system. All you need for this practice is a mat and a bolster or a cushion to sit on. So why don't you grab those and come and join me. Okay, now that you've got your mat and your bolster, let's get started. Today we're going to focus on these simple techniques that you can use in your life that'll help to regulate your nervous system. It's so easy for our nervous system to get overwhelmed during the day. We have so many stresses that come through the day, whether it's an email that has to be sent, a bill that has to be paid, our child getting sick, or just a really bad night's sleep. And all of these things have little knock-on effects in our nervous system. With yoga techniques, we can learn how to manage those effects, how they show up in our body, and help to bring our nervous system back into balance really simply and effectively. One of the techniques that I like to use the most is a tapping technique that works on the vagus nerve pathway. The vagus nerve is connected into so many of the nerve pathways in the body, and it really governs how our nervous system responds, whether it over-responds or whether it responds appropriately. What we're looking for is vagal nerve tone, and that sounds really complicated, but ultimately there are a set of sequences that you can do daily that help to bring about vagal nerve tone, and that'll just allow your nervous system to respond well. This tapping exercise mimics our mother's heartbeat in the womb, and so it's a really primal exercise that brings us back into a place where we felt safe. It can be done safely and effectively by children all the way up to older adults. So all you have to do is sit up tall and cross your hands across the chest. We're going to tap the hands into the space underneath the collarbones rhythmically. And we want to do this for at least 1.5 minutes. So let's try it together. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to close our eyes. And I just want you to tap into the space under your collarbones nice and rhythmically. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. About at this speed. As you're doing this, soften the shoulders and connect into your breath. As you're tapping, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just notice the sensations that are present in your body as you tap. And sometimes I like to combine these movements with affirmations, especially things like, I am safe, I'm doing the best that I can, everything is going to be okay. I am safe, I'm doing the best that I can, everything is going to be okay. I'll just do that one more time. I am safe, I am doing the best that I can, everything is going to be okay. And then we'll just gently stop the tapping, blink our eyes open. And when we finish, take a big inhale, open and expand the arms. And then exhale, release the arms down to the side again. So you can use that technique whenever you want to during the day. If you're working in an office or if you're preparing for exams, you can always take time out and go and find a toilet or bathroom, a quiet space, and just do that tapping. You'll notice very quickly that you come back into a calmer, more centered space in your body. Another one of the techniques that I really like to use with my clients is the physiological sigh breathing exercise. We often notice that when we're stressed, we start to breathe high in our chest. Our breathing gets very fast and very constricted. Conversely, when we're feeling really calm, we take this big sigh. It's like everything's going to be okay. So this breathing exercise mimics that sigh, and it very quickly tricks our nervous system into thinking, oh, everything's fine, I'm relaxed. And as that happens, we send that signal into the body we stimulate the relaxation response and our body moves from fight or flight, from that stress response, into a calm place. So this breathing exercise, we breathe in through the nose, a little sniff. Then we take a deeper sniff, and then we breathe out through the mouth for a count of 6. So we want to do about 10 rounds of this breath to really feel the full effects of its benefit. Let's try it together now. So sitting up nice and tall, drop the shoulders down. A little sniff in, a bigger sniff, and then a big breath out for 6. A little sniff, a bigger sniff, and a big breath out through the mouth for 6. A little sniff, a bigger sniff, and a big breath out. A little sniff, a bigger sniff, and breathing out. And again, a little sniff, a bigger sniff, and breathing out. Little sniff, bigger sniff, 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 breathing out. Last time, little sniff, bigger sniff, and breathing out. And then just take some gentle chewing with your jaw to release any jaw tension. And I always like to take little circles at this point, just moving the breath around the body, releasing any tension that might have crept up into the shoulders as we were concentrating during the breath exercise. And then just coming back to the center. And just notice how your body's feeling now. Maybe there's a sense of calm. Maybe there's a sense of presence, of awareness. Maybe you just feel more aware of your body on the floor. Another way that we can build that vagal nerve tone is by gargling or by chanting. So you could have a mouthwash in the morning and you could gargle with it for about 1.5 minutes. You could do oil pulling with coconut oil, where you take coconut oil into your mouth, let it melt, and then swish it around your mouth. And this is also really good for cleaning your teeth and preventing cavities. Or you can do chanting, and I like to incorporate chanting into my movement practices. What you'll notice is that the vibration of the sound inside your body relaxes the muscles. So it really has a sense of switching off all of the muscles and allowing us to come into that calmer place. What we're going to do is take our hands out to the side. As we inhale, we're going to bring our arms up overhead. As we exhale, we're going to take them down to the floor. So this is the basic movement that we're going to do. Inhaling up and exhaling down. But we're going to combine that with sound. So we're going to inhale up just normally. And as we exhale, we're going to make a sound. We want to match the movement to the breath. So you start the sound when your hands start to move, and your hands reach the floor when the end of your sound happens. And that's going to be different from each of us. I'll guide you at my pace, but feel free to go at your own pace. Let's sit up nice and tall. We'll breathe in. Exhaling out. Inhale. onto your lap. You might notice some tingling in your body as the residual effects of the chanting are still filtering through. You might notice that as you exhale with the chanting, you can breathe out for a lot longer than when you're not making sound. This is another really lovely trick that comes with this, which is that we're tricking our body to exhale for a longer period of time. When we look at breathwork practices that are aiming to calm the body, to bring us into that parasympathetic nervous system, the opposite of anxiety and worry and stress, what we want to do is lengthen the exhalation compared to the inhalation. So a shorter inhale and a longer exhale. And this is one of the easiest ways, I think, to lengthen your exhale when you use sound. So it's a really nice, simple trick. I often use this one when I'm at home and I'm having a tough time with my child and I'm feeling overwhelmed and I can feel that my emotions are getting the better of me. If I just take a moment to sit down wherever I am and do 5 of these sound breaths, I instantly find that I'm able to come back into a more focused awareness, that I'm more in control of my emotions. So you could try this one too. Another one of my favorite breathing practices that I use a lot when working with clients who have really a high stress job, have a lot of stresses that they encounter in their life, is the 4-7-8 breath. The 4-7-8 breath is really, really studied for its effects on stress and also on the immune system. So studied over a 2-week period, they can see a huge effect on how people's immune system are performing and also on how quickly they recover from stressful events in their lives. The beautiful thing about this breath practice is that you only have to do 4 rounds of it once a day. So 4, 7, 8. That tells us the numbers of the ratio of our breath. We breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold the breath in for a count of 7. And we're going to breathe out for a count of 8. Our tongue is going to take up position on the back of the top of our teeth and it's going to stay there through the breath. This means that when we breathe out through our mouth on the count of 8, it's going to make a whooshing sound, a bit like this. And that's completely normal, so allow that to happen. I'll guide you through it. Let's do a practice round together. So the tongue is on the back of the teeth. We're going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to pause the breath, holding it in. And as you hold the breath in, try not to bring tension into the body. Soften and melt into the holding of the breath. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we breathe out through the mouth with the whooshing sound. Don't worry if you can't get to the 8 the first couple of times. Just do the longest breath out that you can. So we're going to do 4 rounds together. This one is also really indicated if you have insomnia or you have a tough time sleeping because your thoughts are worrying. You can do this breath practice right before sleep and it'll help you to fall asleep quicker and stay asleep for longer. You could also use it if you woke up in the night with your mind racing. So sitting up nice and tall, spine is long. Tongue onto the back of the teeth. We'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4 and pause. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4 and pause. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do one more round. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4 and pause. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And come back to your regular breathing. Allow your breath to settle in the body. And once again, just noticing, how does my body feel now? Sometimes you can feel a little bit lightheaded. That's really normal. You've just increased the oxygenation in the body. Sometimes you can have a yawn, or you can hear a tummy gurgling, and those are signals that your body's moved into that place of rest and digest, that relaxation response. So that's a really good sign. And sometimes you just feel really nice and loose and floppy in the body. The next technique I want to show you is one that you can use to manage anxiety or stress if, for example, you're in a public place. So that might be you're in the middle of an exam. It might mean that you're in the office and you're in a public area at your desk. Could be that you're in a meeting with your school's principal. We use mantra and mudra in yoga a lot, and there are a lot of different techniques that go with them, and they help us with focus. The mudra that we're going to use today is a hand gesture. Mudras are just hand gestures that we combine with breath and sometimes with sound. For this one, I'm going to show you what the sound is, but usually I use this when I'm in a public place, or I teach it to children or teenagers who are in school and might suffer from anxiety within a classroom situation, and they want to do something to calm themselves down, but they don't want other people to know that they're doing it. So I'll teach it to you with the sound, but it's more common that people use it without the sound. What we're simply going to do is tap the thumb and the index finger together, then the thumb and the middle finger, then the thumb and the ring finger, and then the thumb and the little finger. So we make this little sequence where we tap into each of the fingers rhythmically and in turn. And I usually do this on my lap, so wherever I'm sitting, my hands can easily be hidden under the desk or under my jumper or under my top. When we get this rhythm, again, it's a little bit like the first exercise we did where we're mimicking our mother's heartbeat. We're just mimicking a rhythm that's nice and calming. When we have this circular rhythm, it gives us something to focus on. So it grounds us back into present moment awareness of our body. Noticing, here I am, I'm in my seat, here are my hands, and here's my body. It gives our mind something to focus on so our mind doesn't race. If you like to use sound in conjunction with your movement, the first point is sa, second point is ta, third point is na, last point is ma. So it goes sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. You can also say that sound inside your head internally to help you integrate the rhythm of the movements. Try it yourself sometime that you're in a public place and you notice yourself getting anxious, and see how this really calming rhythm really just brings yourself back into this place where you're like, okay, I can focus now. The next technique I want to show you is a meditation technique. And this is one that is a really useful one if you have overwhelm happening. Maybe there's a lot of stuff outside you that you can't control. Maybe your thoughts are going into cyclical patterns that are unhelpful to you right now. Or maybe you have a big event, an exam or a big proposal that's coming up, and you start to feel that nervousness come into your body in a way that instead of being productive starts to feel unhelpful. This breathing practice can help you to regulate that and come back into a place where you can use those nerves to your advantage. So we're going to take our left hand onto the heart, onto the chest, the right hand onto the belly, and drop the elbows to the sides of the body. Bow your chin towards your chest and close your eyes. For today, we're going to do this breath practice, this meditation with our eyes closed, but you can absolutely do this with your eyes open wherever you are. Let's just come into a nice slow breath into the belly. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, belly empties. Once you've got comfortable with that rhythm of breathing, we're going to combine the breath with a mantra. When you're breathing in, you're going to say to yourself, breathing in this moment. And when you're breathing out, this breath. So this moment on the inhale, this breath on the exhale. This moment on the inhale. This breath on the exhale. This moment. This breath. This moment. This breath. This moment. This breath. This moment. This breath. Continue breathing, saying the words inside your own head now. Every time that you find your mind wandering off into thoughts, just come back to this moment and this breath. And every breath is just a chance to begin again. On the next exhale, just allow those words to fall away and come back to your regular breathing. Gently, gently blink your eyes open. And then coming back into the room. I love this meditation and breath practice. No matter what's going on, no matter how hard something is in our life, we can always manage just this moment and this breath. When it gets really tough is when we project thoughts and worries and fears about what might happen in the future, or imprint stories that we're telling ourselves about things that have happened before in the past. Usually none of it's actually happening in this moment. Usually in this moment everything's okay. And so it's a technique I use to remind myself, this moment, this breath, everything's okay. I hope you try it for yourself and find it really useful. So we're going to finish off with 3 simple yoga poses that can help when you're feeling anxious and stressed, and they all help for different reasons. The first one we're going to do, we're going to come around to all fours. So if you have a cushion, you're going to move it out of the way. We're just going to come around to our all fours position here. So I've aligned my knees under my hips, my wrists under my shoulders. Oftentimes when we're stressed, we actually get so tense in our chest we can't breathe deep into the belly and engage that relaxation response. So this pose, which is called puppy dog pose, is going to help to open and stretch the chest and allow us to breathe deeper into our belly. It's also going to bring our head lower than our heart, which is an inversion, and that helps to calm the body instantly. So all you have to do is walk your hands forwards to the front edges of your mat and turn the fingers to point out. From there, you're going to draw your hips down to bow back, to bow your head and your chest down towards the floor, and you might be able to rest your head on the ground, or your head might be floating in space, and either one of those things is fine. And all you're going to do is let your upper back hammock down towards the floor. The hands are pushing down, the top of the feet are pushing down, the tailbone is drawing back, and then everything from your tailbone to the crown of your head is nice and soft. And we're just breathing here. At least 5 nice deep breaths. On your breath out, breathe out through the mouth like a sigh. To come out of the pose, press into the hands, look up, and walk the hands slowly back to all fours. And we'll just sway the hips from side to side. The second pose that we're going to do is a moving, a shaking version of downward dog. I mentioned in earlier videos that when animals are stressed, they shake. And that shaking isn't them being afraid, it's them moving the adrenaline and cortisol, the stress hormones, out of their body. And so we can do the same with our body. We're going to place our hands down, tuck our toes, and push up into our feet so we come into this shape. Now, a traditional downward dog has straight legs, so we're going to bend our legs for this one. And we're going to push out of the hands so we have a nice long line in the spine. Let your head hang. And from here, I just want you to shake up and down onto the feet, bouncing the knees and the hips. So we get this lovely bouncing action here. And you can shake your head at the same time, shaking it like you're saying no. You can start to let the shoulders and the hips get involved, so you're just bouncing them from side to side. And in this position, pressing down into the hands and the feet, I just want you to shake your body in all the ways that you can. Imagining you're just shaking off any of the events of the day, shrugging off any of your worries, your fears, any of that baggage that you're carrying. Just let it go. Just shake free here. I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths in this position, shaking and releasing. And then we drop down to our knees, and we always finish with a child's pose. So big toes together, knees wide, sink the hips and rest forwards here. If your hips don't meet your heels, don't worry. Just take it to the place that feels good in your body. And if your head doesn't reach the floor, you can stack your fists. Really important that you have your forehead in contact with something. This engages the glands that are responsible for us producing the hormones that allow us to sleep better. And a good quality rest is so important when we're going through a stressful time. So just take a couple of breaths in your child's pose, breathing out sideways into the ribs. And then raise your head, walk your hands back, and come up to kneeling. Let's just take a big stretch. Inhale. And exhale with a sigh. And shake loose. Okay, so give those arms a good shake, releasing them out. And the last thing that we're going to do is a yoga pose called Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall. This could be done on your headboard, on your bed against your headboard, or it can be done against a wall or a sofa. But today I'm going to use my doors here. We're going to slide forwards and shuffle our hip up against the wall or the door or the bed that we're using. We're then simply going to spin around and reach our legs up and rest them against the back of the wall or the door or the headboard. You want to get your bottom in as close to the wall as you can. So if it's come away from the wall, you just shuffle forwards. And then we can take our feet together or our feet apart. Drop your toes down towards your face and bring your arms up and back behind your head. Let the elbows rest onto the floor. From here, soften your ribcage down towards the spine. Make sure that your chin is lower than your forehead. And then just breathe in this position. This is a brilliant pose to do right before you sleep. It's a great one if you've been doing a lot of sitting and studying or working at a desk. It really helps the circulation in the lower legs. But most importantly, it's profoundly calming on the body, and it brings all that fresh blood flow to the digestive system and helps us to digest a little better. And that doesn't just mean digest our food and turn that into all that lovely energy to use during our day, but it also means how we digest the experiences, the events of the day. I try to be in this position at least once a day. In an ideal world, you might spend 5 minutes in this position. It's a perfect opportunity to guide yourself in a relaxation, relaxing your toes and your feet, relaxing your ankles and your calves, relaxing your knees and your thighs, relaxing your hips and your bottom, relaxing the length of your spine and the crown of your head, relaxing the lower back, the middle back and the upper back.
Relaxing your belly, your rib cage, and your chest. Relaxing your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Relaxing your arms, your wrists, your fingers and your hands. Relaxing your neck and the whole of your throat. Relaxing your jaw and the skin on your face. Relaxing your forehead and your temples. Whole length of your body, just relaxing now. Whole entire length of your body, just letting go. Allow yourself to breathe here nice and calmly for these last few moments. And then as we come out of it, we bring our hands back down to our sides, we bend our knees, hugging our knees into the chest for a moment. Just allow your blood pressure to equalize. We roll slowly over onto our side and find our way back up to sitting in a nice tall position. From here, just rolling your shoulders. And then we'll bring our hands together in front of the chest. Lay your head to your hands in honor of taking this time for yourself today. And we'll bow to each other and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. As I mentioned at the beginning, there are 5 more videos in this Yoga from Home sequence. I hope you seek them out on the Laoghaire-Rathdown Library's YouTube channel. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon.